Hello and welcome back to season 2 of Overwine. Oh my gosh, it feels so good to say those words. I actually genuinely never thought I'd be saying those words again. But it's season 2, a brand new vibes. And I'm just so excited to get into it. Can I just talk about this here for a quick second? Like, I don't know that, but third year was something I wasn't expecting. Like, it's something I haven't been expecting. It's it's just been a battle. Like, wow. Beginning of the year, I took on this job as an orientation leader, and it's basically where we just introduce the first years or the oncoming first years into UCT. We get them used to the environment, we take them for a tour and everything. And I remember my orientation leader, like, I'm still friends with so many people from then, and I'm just thinking, like, if I knew then what I knew now, like, just looking at the first years from a third year POV, it's just like the end of the beginning or something like that. It's just something morbid, man. But like, I was just wow, like, they genuinely don't know what's coming. And looking at the first years, I'm thinking to myself, I would never take advantage of them. I would never take advantage of them the way we were taken advantage of when we were in first years, when a group of these third years took us to Clifton. Literally, we were walking around this, like, it was such a bad, like, literally beach trip from hell. And that's what I'm gonna get into today. The beach trip from hell from first year that I think about at least once a month. I think about it at least once a month, especially about my sunscreen that I lost. I'm still so pissed off about that sunscreen I lost. But before we get into it, let's talk about the wine. I'm so excited. Our wine of the day, our wine of the episode is Mlambo South Africa Merlot 2022 vintage. I went to high school near the place where they brewed this or whatever, and I don't know, I just like being from that side of the Western Cape. It's just like you see all these wine brands, and you just know, like, you know the people, you know who's associated to it, and it's just like, ugh. Like, sometimes I just can't, sometimes I can fuck it up. Something, if it's good, it's good, but just wow. She retails for, I think, $90. Merlot, I honestly don't know the differences between the red wines yet. I really should, especially after this podcast. People have just been expecting that I know so much about wines, and I really do, but I'm excited to get into a Merlot. Every time I pour this, I keep forgetting that I'm doing it over a pair of white sheets. Like, my sheets are white, and I'm doing this. Let's irrigate it. It smells like red wine, but like, I want to say that there is a fruity like taste, but I would be bullshitting. This wine is gay. It smells really fruity. She's a butch queen. It smells really fruity and tastes kind of fruity too, like kind of sweet in a sense. It goes down really easy, but like, it smells like a man. She's a butch queen. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into the story. So 18-year-old Ethan had just come to Cape Town. I had gone out, I think, once before, and I'd made these two friends. These two friends, they had met each other like their first few days of Cape Town, and they had like a bunch of like going out things like that, and they already knew a bunch of people. So I just want to say that I didn't know these people. I did not know these men, but they did. But my friend, one of them was like, we should go to Clifton. They're inviting us to Clifton, like we should really go, like. And I was like, okay, like cool, like I would love to go to Clifton. Mind you, I also like I just hadn't gone to the beach yet. It was like orientation era period, and I just hadn't gone to the beach yet. I was like, I need to go, like let's go to the beach. We're like, cool, okay, cool. First step was to get outfits from V&A, because these guys, they had invited us to Clifton, and then we were also planning on going out the night of. So we're like, let's go to V&A, let's go get like outfits, or let's go get a top or something. And I find that this is low-key something that always happens whenever we go out, we go somewhere, like we always have to go look for something. And it's kind of like a, I don't know, I add it as like a part of the getting ready ritual, because it's just like, it's so fun to go out and go shopping together for something. But we went to V&A, and I think we had probably spent like 2 or 3 hours in V&A. I've even learned now, you can't just go to V&A. You will end up spending like 3 hours of your day there. And also it's like such a, like, it was our first time there. The mall was so huge. We had probably spent 3 hours there. Like, I just remember the time was going. And the thing is, we are so indecisive. We're so indecisive. It's crazy. Like, they had decided to, like, we had been going up and down between stores, going back to back to make sure, comparing prices. Like, we just weren't sure of what we wanted. I knew that, like, okay, I don't want this here. Like, I don't want anything here. I know I want to go get what I want to get, but I was just gonna have to wait for them. Yeah, wait for them. Cool, fine. Yeah, we get outside of V&A. We're taking the My City bus. As we're going, the bus is leaving. We are running after the bus. I think it was the most humbling thing when the bus drove away. The bus drove, and we were running, and the bus drove away. It was so embarrassing. Anyways, we get to CBD, we get to town. I'm like, I know where the shop is, that where I want to go get something. And we went to the mall, went to the shop. The shop was closed, and we were all just looking at each other like, what the hell are we going to do now? Because I had spent like majority of my day running up and down with them, waiting for them to get their things. And then it was like crickets. Like, it was like we didn't know, like we generally were like, oh, what are we gonna do now? I'm like, okay, you know what, it's fine, it's cool, it's fine, we can just go, let's just go. Listen, I had spent like 3 hours of my day in town, walking around, running around. Let's just go, get ready. It's fine, it's cool, it's fine. We go back to my one friend's place. As we're going there, we're getting ready. I decided to just get something from H&M, but as we're going, we're getting ready. My friend's neighbor knocks on the door, and it was like that period where if you had made a neighbor in Cape Town, like, you really wanted to be friends with them. Like, that's how it was back then. I don't feel like it is the same now. Like, it's just not the same vibe. Like, you just know people now, but back then, like, you just wanted to be friends with everyone. And I think that's how my friend was with this neighbor, because this neighbor, she was chatting with him, catching up with him, and it's like, oh, where are you guys going? And she's like, oh, we're going to Clifton because these guys invited us. He's like, oh, like, can I come too? And I was like, we were all like, okay, cool, like, why not? Another gay person, another guy, like, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be so much fun, is what we thought. And low-key, I knew I was going to regret him coming when, as we were driving to Clifton, we like drove by Long Street, and it was like, oh my gosh, Long Street, like, can't believe I'm back in this place, can't believe I'm back in these streets, can't believe I'm back in the city. Like, gosh, we used to go out here all the time, like all the time. I'm so sick of this place. We used to be here all the time, like all the time. And we were just like, okay, like, you won't have to be here for much longer, like, we're literally driving past right now. And he kept going on about it. Like, anyways, he just kept going on about it. We arrived to Clifton, and this is where the characters come in. This is where the third year characters come in. I'm gonna give them nicknames just because for the sake of the first guy, I'm gonna call him Catch 22. His name is Catch 22. The second guy, I'm gonna call Kong, like Kong, Kong. The third guy, I'm gonna call him Liar, just Liar. It's Catch 22, Kong, and Liar. Get that. Catch 22 was like, he was really the start. Like, he was really the one when I think about meeting him for the first time, like I really think it's when my hater energy came off. Like I just felt like I could see like right through him. Like I just wasn't buying what he was selling. I don't know how to explain it. Like he was reading a book called Catch 22. He was reading a book, quote unquote, he was reading a book. I don't believe he was reading that book. That was my first thing. I was like, this nigga's not reading that book. I was like, be so fucking serious. Be so fucking serious. He was laying in the sand staring at the same page for like, I think we were there for like a good 20 minutes. It was good, like first 15 to 20 minutes. He was just staring at the page. And then he asked someone to, one of us to take pictures of him still at the same page. And then he closed the book. That was like, I was like, okay, not that it matters, really. Not that it matters, but I was like, okay, damn. Also, I think he was just giving off like, he was just giving off like a certain energy. Like, he was just giving off a certain energy that I was just like, I just had to laugh at it. I was just like, if you had to think of like a stereotypical thing that this type of person would do, he was doing it. And I was just like, oh my God, nigga, like, I see you, like, I see you, whatever. I'm like, okay. But I was like, actually, you know what? Who gives a fuck? I'm never going to see these people again in my life. So I thought, Kong just gave bum energy. Like, let me take a sip, actually. This Kong guy, he literally gave bum energy from the first time I saw him. He's and I still believe he's such a bum. Like, it just bum energy. Like, when you see someone and they're radiating bum energy, just think of that. Like, and my friend, bless her heart, she has such a soft spot for him. I don't know where the fuck it comes from, but she said she has a soft spot for him. I'm like, okay, cool. I will hate on this nigga. And I think I got it was just like an instant ick that came off when I first saw him. And I remember he had this like gorilla tattoo somewhere on his body, and I was just like, brother, ugh. Like, it was just so gross. Like, it just added to the rancid vibes, and I was just like, I just got the ick. Got a huge ick the first time I saw him. And like, when I said that my friend had a soft spot for him, it's like, do you know how when everyone was going through that Pedro Pascal's daddy era, and people like always posted these things on Twitter of him, like, oh, he's such a cute baby, and they're like, actually, and then people used to quote him, but like, actually, no, he's 60. That nigga, he's not a cute baby. He's 60. He's grown. Actually, he was third year, but he was grown. And he was just, I just got ick. I just got bum energy. Like, I think it's just because I know bum when I see bum. Yeah. Also, of my two friends, they had known a guy. He was a mutual friend of theirs, and he was also in first year with us. And I'd also brought one of my friends along. And my friend and their friend hit it off really well. But I low-key got the vibe that like I didn't really like me that much. And like, I was just like, okay, cool. Like, I'm just gonna take a step back. Like, I'm not gonna try and force things. I low-key got the vibe that like he was annoyed or something with me, and I just like, let me just take a step back. I'm just gonna take a step back, did my own thing. Everyone was literally, I think everyone had someone to talk to, and it was just me sitting. And then I just decided to talk to the photographer, and we're talking, we're speaking. We go for a walk. We're there like by the stairs, by the houses on Clifton, and he's busy taking pictures of me. He's like, oh, you know, like, you really have what it takes to be like a muse. Hey, like, I would really like for you to be my muse. Like, that would be really nice. I'm like, okay, sure, like, cool, like, you know, like, I wouldn't mind modeling. Like, why not? Whatever a muse is or muse does, I'm like, sure, why not? I'm down. And then he lights up a cigarette and he smokes, and I'm like, can I try that? I take one puff, I give it back to him. I'm like, this is what Cape Town is supposed to be. Like, this is what Cape Town is supposed to be. It was also just a really good vibe. Like, it was a sunset, we were just chatting, I had someone to talk to, it was fun. Things didn't get romantic like that though. Like, I also think like just the Long Street thing just kept playing in my head, and I was like, I can't, like, I won't allow myself to do anything. Cool. The sun was setting. We went back to my friends who were still on the beach, talking, vibing, everyone doing their thing. Now the sun had set. It's getting dark. we are ready to go. We're ready to leave. Ready to leave. Me, my friend I brought along, my 2 friends, and the photographer, we decided to order an Uber XL, and we were like, okay guys, like it's time to go to the next location. We needed to go get dressed because we were going out too. We didn't know what time we wanted to go. So as we're waiting for our XL, waiting, these guys come. They are standing behind us. They are like literally like standing like this, like, because we are on a sound recording, they just gave us blank stares. Like they were standing there just with blank stares. We're like, what's wrong? Like, why are you guys just standing there? Like, oh, Catch 22's phone is off, Liar's phone doesn't have data, and this bum left his phone at home, his phone and his wallet, he left it at home conveniently. I'm like, what was the plan then? How were you gonna get home? How were you gonna get home if what was the plan? Like, how were you gonna get home if you were doing all these things? They're just standing at us, blank stare. I'm like, oh well, like our Uber's coming. Like the Uber was halting, Uber was waiting. My friend, who, like, one of my friends who knew them, she called them Uber, and it became such a stressful situation because the Uber we were in wanted to leave. He was rushing us. She had to wait for this Uber to come so that they could go home. They also had to get an XL because I don't think it was enough people. They also had things they had to carry. It was a situation. And then like we had no way of, like, we were stressing because like we didn't know, how are you gonna know when the car comes? How are we gonna know when you get back? Like, are we supposed to wait for you? You're still coming out for us? Like, what's gonna happen? You don't have your phone. We ended up eventually just writing down the number plate, giving them the thing, and then just told them to look out for the Uber, because really, what were you gonna do? What were you gonna do? Like, what were you gonna do? Anyways, we were back to Upper Campus. We walked down to where these guys were staying. We're sitting there. My friend is waiting. She's stressing. Listen, she's stressing that this guy didn't get it. He's not answering his phone. He's not anything. He can't WhatsApp call because he doesn't have data. Can't call because we don't have airtime. It was just a mess. It was now, like, surprisingly, it was like really dark now, and we were still waiting for them where they lived. They lived at Woolsack at the time, so we're standing outside Woolsack, but like the bridge side, waiting for this Uber to come. Here the Uber comes. I'm like, okay, cool, they're here. Listen guys, like, I need to save my battery. My phone is on 1%. What I always did with my Samsung was, when it was like 1% or 2%, I would switch it off, and then I would just switch it on again when I needed it, and I'd use that 1%, and then I'd switch it off again. Here I'm thinking, oh, like, because I just got in this XR, and it was like my first iPhone. I was like, listen guys, we need to go, and should an emergency happen, I have my phone. My phone is like on 2%. I'm gonna like turn it off now. I turn it off. My friend yells, no. I'm like, what? Like, I can just turn it on again. She's like, it's not gonna work, babe. It's not gonna work. That's not how it works. And my phone was like the last one with power on, and I just turned it off. I'm like, no, that's not true. Like on Samsung, when I would do it on Samsung, it was always turned on. Here I press to turn on my phone, red battery flashes in my face. I'm like, what the fuck are we gonna do now? I'm like, at least these guys are here, like at least we can use their phone and stuff like that. Here they are getting out the Uber, they're dabbing each other up, they're about to go. We're asking them like, oh, so like what's gonna happen now? Like, are you guys still coming out? Oh no, I think we're gonna call it a night actually. We're like, oh, okay, like they're done for the day. They went to the beach, they're going home. That's what they said. We're like, okay, cool. And the thing was, I don't think they could have snuck all of us into their res, so we just had to walk. We walked to Tagwa, where my one friend was staying. Then from Tagwa we walked to Lisbik, where like nearby where I was staying at the time. From Lisbik we walked to Obs, where my other friend was, and at Obs we all just got ready. At Obs. We charged our things. We were like, that's so weird, that's so odd. Anyways, we can all go out now. 1%, mind you, we are walking in the streets of the southern suburbs. 1% we are walking on the streets of the sun. Not even 1%, zero, because you couldn't even count on my 1%, because isn't it, I thought I was jamming neutron, turning my phone off. And 1%, this one is actually really kicking in. And I think I'm noticing now with Mlambo, it does go down really easy. And I feel like I say this about every single wine, but I normally gravitate towards a wine that goes down easy. I think I need like a conversation wine. I need a conversation wine. What is a conversation wine? Oh my gosh. Anyways, we're getting ready, we're getting dressed, we're spraying, we're doing our things, we're getting ready to go out. We are ordering the Uber. My friend's neighbor just keeps yapping like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm back. I can't believe I'm going to Long Street again. Like, oh, it's been so long. Like, oh, gosh, I can't believe I'm back in Long Street again. Like, oh, we used to go here so much in first year. Like, and I honestly want to know people who do that, or people who are like, oh, we used to go here all the time. You know, yeah, like, what do you expect people to say? What do you expect people to say? Because this guy knew we were first years. He knew it was like our first year in Cape Town. What did you want us to say? Like, what did you want us to say? What did you want us to do? And I just genuinely want to know, because if you guys knew how much he was bitching about it, like it was just the thing. It was just the thing. But honestly, we did have a really good night. I just remember we had such a good night. We got onto Long Street. I don't remember where we went, but we went out. And then at one point we were recouping on the side of the street, and there was like a new phrase that there was a phrase I was just using all the time, and I just kept yelling out like, where the hood niggas at, where the hood niggas at. And I caught on because me and the friend who I'd brought with to the beach, we kept yelling at, where the hood niggas at, where the hood niggas at. Then we made the mistake of yelling it while we were outside recouping. In the club, it's fine. There's music. No one can hear you. Nobody takes you seriously. Everyone just looks like, in the club, nobody cares. Outside on Long Street, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you're manifesting. We yelled just so far. We're like, where the hood niggas at? Where the hood niggas at? This group of gremlins walks up to us. They're like, hey, you looking for the hood, nigga? Group of gremlins walk up to us. I grab my friend, she grabs me, and we scream in unison. We actually scream in unison. Like, I'm holding her, like, we're screaming in unison as these guys come up to us. And I think they caught a hint, thank God. They were like really close. They got really close to us though. They didn't catch the hint fast enough, but like we just kept screaming like in unison, high pitched screams. Like, I can't even do it now because it's like 4 a.m. But we just screamed. We screamed and they left. And that was the last time I think I ever said where the hood niggas at. I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again. If you're on Long Street, be careful what you ask for. I'm actually really enjoying this wine. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Like, actually, I wish I'd eaten before this. Anyways, the night comes to an end. We're like, let's go to McDonald's, let's get some food, and then we can call our Uber home. McDonald's for some reason was really full that night. Like, I'm not talking about inside, I'm talking about outside. Like, the amount of people begging there, the car guards were begging too, these people with vests on were begging. It was a ridiculous amount of people. It was a crazy amount of people. Now, I'm scared for my life because I'm flamboyantly gay. I'm busy, like, I'm there in like a crop top, waist exposed. I was just scared for myself. But we got inside. They were asking us for money, but we got inside. We order, we do our thing. This guy on the window is like tapping, like, oh, can you give me a $5? And I'm like, I don't have a $5. Nobody carries cash anymore. And I told him, like, I'm so sorry, I don't have cash. From outside the window. And this actually haunts me. I think I literally had a dream about this. But one of the beggars outside, he's like, he knocked on the door, he's like, on the window, I'm just like looking at him. He's like, you. Does the motion where he's like, I'm gonna cut your throat when you leave this place. And I'm like, my nigga, over a R5 that I don't have because I don't have cash. And I guess it didn't help that we were in McDonald's too, buying food as we like literally telling them we don't have. In terms of being threatened, I think almost every time I go to Rondebosch Main Road, I've been threatened for my life. Like, it's so bad. And especially this one guy called Alex, this one homeless guy called Alex, and he's not even homeless because that nigga works. Okay, I don't know what his situation is, but I know that nigga works because he comes straight from work. One time I saw him with a fresh haircut. Listen, I don't know, but he knows I hate him. He knows me and him has beef. I can't stand it. Like, I think after I got threatened the first time is when I bought pepper spray. And just thinking back, just that night on McDonald's where that guy was tapping on the glass, motion with slitting my neck, that foreshadowed that foreshadowed literally everything that was to come. Now we're done. We finally ordered our food. Car is coming. I'm like, listen guys, it's not looking cute outside. It is not looking cute outside. When we go outside, we need to dash. We need to dash. We need to run. We need to just move. Just move. Here the car comes. I'm like, okay, ready, set, 1, 2, 3, go. We all move. I open the door. Everyone gets in unison. We all get in. Except for the one friend, this mutual friend who I said he doesn't really like me. As we were walking, I don't blame him, shame. As we were walking, like, when I tell you there were so many people, they were literally grabbing onto us as we were going, trying to see if we don't have anything grabbing onto us. I got in the car. We need to go home. I push him inside the car. I close the door and we go. And we drive. We're telling our Uber driver about like how scared we were because we were genuinely scared. I was scared. We're telling him how scared he was. He's like, oh no, these guys, they're so harmless. You don't need to worry about them. I'm like, I'm sure when I'm like 35, grown, beard, not showing any signs of being gay, I will not fear these men. But as of right now, my 18-year-old self was so scared. The next day comes. We had debriefed. We sat down, we spoke, and we realized that we had been played. We had been played so badly. Because the thing is, these guys invited us to go to Clifton. Cool, yeah, cool. My one friend went with them in an Uber XL to Clifton. She had paid for that Uber XL. My other friend and I, we had also gone. My other friend, the rest of us had also gone in an Uber. They didn't have snacks. We went to go buy snacks. On top of snacks, we also paid for our own Uber X home. Like, we couldn't pay because like it went off on my friend's card because the splitting thing it wasn't a thing back then. I think. I don't remember it being a thing back then. She had paid for our Uber X, our home, back from the beach, and then she also had to pay for these group of guys, third years, to come back. And it was just a mess. Listen, it was just a mess. Somehow, some way, prices went up. It was just a hot mess. And we realized, actually, guys, this thing that these guys had invited us to, we paid for it. We paid for it. And I just told them, listen, we got played. Cool, done. We need to sort this out. My one friend said she's down. Like, she's so down horrendous right now because she had paid for everything and she had, like, it just taken a huge damage. Like, everything was just so expensive back then. Everything's still so expensive now. But we decided that, okay, me and my one friend, we're just gonna split like the fees between us three, and we're just gonna pay her back. And I think it like came to like 350 or 360 that we paid her. Cool, fine, we did that. I don't mind. And I'm so grateful. Like, I think that was the moment. Even before that, I think we had spoken about like it's just so important to like have friends you can trust in uni for like money and stuff like that. But we had paid it back. It was cool. It was sorted. I just said like, I'm never going anywhere with those guys again. I'm never going anywhere with these guys again, like ever again. I'm never going anywhere with them. And we're like, yeah, we're not going anywhere with them again. And I think what pissed us off the most was that we had this scratch in our throat. Like, as we were speaking, as we were debriefing, as we were telling the stories to each other, there was this scratch at the back of our throat. The scratch becomes full on flu. I think it was the worst flu I have ever had in university. And I think it was the first flu I also ever had in university. When I tell you guys, it was bad. It was so bad. Like, to the point where I was crying. I was so sick. I was crying. I genuinely thought I was going to die. I hoped I would die because there's no way I'm going through all this pain just to live, just to someday catch this flu again. And I was talking to my friends as we're busy fighting for our lives. I'm talking to my friends. Both my friends had called their moms. They were crying to their moms about how bad the flu is. And I think, like, I didn't really have that relationship with my family, so like I kind of was going through it alone. And I think I just, like, I don't know, that's one thing I really remember about that time. Like, as we were fighting for our lives, as I was crying, they called their moms. I didn't really do that. And I was fighting this flu while still having a roommate asking me questions about the flu, asking me just, yeah, I had a roommate about that. But I do remember that there was this guy that I was seeing at the time. He was like a friend of my housemate, and one time he came by the house, not one time, the time I was sick, he came by the house and he saw how sick I was, and then he had bought me a bunch of medication. Like, he had bought me like the red Disprin, he had bought me Mlambo, he had bought me Panado and all these things. And I'm just like, that's so sweet. I think that was like, that was before that was before I got to know him. Like, that was before I really got to know him, because things just went so south. But I really appreciated it. They called their moms. I had this one nigga buying me medication. I was so grateful for that, because that Midland worked. 3 days had passed and I meet up with my friends again, and we're like, did you guys like cry from this thing too? Like, did you guys feel the full intensity of this flu too? Come to find out, it was the photographer who gave us this flu. It was the photographer. My friend told me that she ran into him like first day of the sickness. She told him like she wasn't feeling well. He was like, oh yeah, I also had a flu, and I just, like, my flu had passed. But you know what they say, when a flu passed, like, the best way to like make yourself not sick is to make other people sick. That's exactly what he was doing. And some part of me deep down believes that he knew exactly what he was doing when he was like ranting and bitching about how many times I had been to Long Street, because we were in a closed car and he was talking, spit follicles probably flying everywhere, and that's how we got the flu. Granted, I also smoked a cig, so like maybe the lips touching thing like also had an impact on it. But he had given us the flu. Mind you, this nigga could have full of wild paid for our Ubers too, could have added or contributed to our Ubers too. He had given us the flu, a flu so bad we thought we were going to die. Our first ever flus in Cape Town. Just something to think about. As for those guys, the catch-22 nigga, I still see like every single day on campus. I still see every day on campus. Like, I don't know what he's doing. I actually don't want to say what he's doing. He's still here every day on campus. He's studying law. I don't give a fuck. This Mlambo is really good. He's studying law. The Kong guy, I don't think he's here anymore. The last time I saw him was last year. And he had asked me to like hit up my friend that has a soft spot for him. So yeah. And then the liar guy, I think I saw him beginning of this year, but I don't know if he's studying anymore. I don't know. I don't think I care either. Like, actually, I know I don't care. That's the last time I saw them. But like, genuinely, this beach trip from hell, like, it was such a rude awakening to like what Cape Town is and what Cape Town will be and what Cape Town will always come to be. And like, I genuinely think back to that day and like, wow, the amount of times we replay, like, where did we go wrong? And I'm just like, listen, we were young, we were impressionable, probably just wanted the male validation too, but it happened. What happened, and yeah, what happened. And also that day when we had went to the beach, I bought the sunscreen. It was this not clear sunscreen, but like this spray on sunscreen, Nivea SPF 50. I didn't leave with that sunscreen. And something tells me that catch-22 nigga stole it. And listen, let me tell you why. Out of everyone that was there, he would need the sunscreen the most. Okay, he would need the sunscreen the most. And he had asked me to, while we were at the beach, he had asked me for that sunscreen, and I borrowed it to him, but he had so much of an interest in it. Like, do you know when you borrow someone something and they're like, oh, this is not like. And like, I remember for like a full year I was like bitching about that sunscreen. I was like, you know what, I'm really fucked up over that sunscreen. And my friend, the one who paid for everything, she was like, Ethan, shut up. She's like, Ethan, shut up. We had all lost things that day. I lost my perfume. We had all lost our dignities, and I think I'd let it go. Like, I let it go. But every time I see this nigga on campus and he's jogging, or he's jogging shirtless and he's singing out loud, I just think, like, you stole my sunscreen. You stole my sunscreen. And it sounds crazy. It sounds stupid, but I just remember I invested in that sunscreen. I was like, oh, I'm in Cape Town, it's gonna be sunny all the time. I invested in that sunscreen just for this nigga to steal it. Just for this man to steal it. Just think about that. Think about that before you judge me, before you come at me. Just think about that. Think about that. How does it go? What did Teddy Duncan do? If a third year ever invites you to the beach or to Camps Bay, good luck, Charlie. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Overwine season 2, we are so back. I had to be gone so that we can be this back, because we are so back. We are so back. And you see, we even have a mic now. I'm low-key want to up my budget for wines, and I also think that for the sake of episode production, I will be reusing wines, so don't come at me. If you see the same label, if I don't even introduce the wine, don't say anything. But I'm so glad I filmed this. It's like 4 a.m, but I'm so glad I filmed this. I'm going jogging at like 8 a.m in the morning with a friend, and it was just really good. Like, it's just really good. It's so good to be back. It's so good to be back. Okay, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you are watching this on Spotify, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening to this on Spotify, answer the poll down below and share this on your story with your friends to see. We're back. See you in 2 weeks. Bye.